In this video, what we will be covering is how to add a new sheet and save your IDWs to your Google Drive folder. All right, so whenever we're working on any activity or project where multiple files or IPTs are created, we always want to kind of bundle them together and dimension them in one singular IDW instead of creating, in this case, a single IDW for the black, the yellow, the green, the blue, and the purple. Right? So instead of having 5 different IDWs, what we can do is we can actually create title blocks for each individual part in one single IDW. All right, and this really helps with reducing the amount of files and file management when we're working on any activity or project that has multiple IPTs that we create. All right, so you're going to notice over in my browser that my yellow part is now named. All right, so it should have said sheet 1 prior to this. So if you just double click on what yours says sheet 1, it's going to go ahead and highlight. I'm going to try to highlight mine. It's not really working. There we go. And then you can name whatever you want your sheet to be. All right, so as we start adding new sheets, they're just going to say sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, so on and so forth. But we really want to practice good habits and organize ourselves a little bit better. And so I like to name my sheets so that I know what is on what sheet. All right. So once you go ahead and name that, in your Placed Views tab, so we were in our Annotate tab. Now we're going to toggle over to our Placed Views tab. And all the way over on the right-hand side, you're going to see a little icon called New Sheet. And what we'll do is we'll just click on that. And a little dialog box is going to pop up. You don't necessarily need to do anything for this right now. We may go ahead and eventually use some of these features, but for right now, you can just press OK. And what's going to happen is it's going to toggle you to sheet 2. All right, so I'm on sheet 2 right now. Sheet 1 is kind of grayed out. If I double click on the yellow part 1, it's going to toggle back to my yellow part sheet. And then notice how sheet 2 is now grayed out because that's not the active sheet right now. All right, for this one, I want to toggle back to yellow part 2, which is actually going to be a different part. All right, so if I come back to base, I select my new file. I'm going to go ahead and select the black staircase. You can select whatever part you want to. I'm going to place my views in separate corners, but now you're noticing that my views are too big. They overlap each other. They're way too big for this title block. All right, so what we want to do, I'm just going to delete everything. Oops, scroll out. There we go. When you select everything, you need to make sure that you select everything and then you can delete. Otherwise, it won't work. All right. So I'm going to come back to my title block. I'm going to try to place my views one more time. I'm still going to select my black staircase, but now what we need to do is we need to explore our scale function a little bit better. So I'm going to go to a half scale and reduce my size. And I'm just going to place my views this way, right click and OK. Again, I want my isometric view to be shaded, so I'm going to just double click on that and shade that. And now what we have is your multi-view drawing for your black part. All right, well, my black part isn't really my yellow part, so I'm just going to double click on that name. I'm going to title this black part. Again, that way I know what is on that sheet. And then I would just go through and I would dimension my black part as well. Now notice you're also going to see sheet 2 of 2 because black part is sheet 2, which is why that 2 is there. All right. And it's the second sheet of our set. It's going to update with the date and it's going to throw in the file name and who is the creator. So if I toggle back to my yellow part, which is on sheet 1, there we go. Now you're going to see that this one is sheet 1 of 2 because this is my first sheet of 2. So when I add a third sheet, it's going to be sheet 1 of 3. So the computer automatically updates everything for you, which is really nice. All right, so now that you know how to go ahead and add a new sheet to this IDW, you'll go through and add a total of 5 sheets, one for the black, one for the yellow, green, blue, and purple. So those 5 sheets, you'll have 5 named drawings over here. Once you're done with all of those, or as you finish each one, I like to save all the time. That way, if Inventor crashes or glitches on you, you are constantly saving and backing up your files. So we're going to go to File, Save As, and you always want to make sure that you're saving your IDWs where all of your part files are. So again, we're going to save into this Inventor Practice folder, and I'm just going to call this Inventor Practice because that's what we're doing. We're practicing. And you're going to notice instead of it saving as an IPT file, you're actually going to be saving it as an Inventor drawing file, or our IDW, right? And then you'll go ahead and press save. And then what I'd like to go ahead and do is come into my Google Drive, and I just want to show you from the Google Drive end what that's going to go ahead and look like. So here's my IDW or IED folder, and we are working on Inventor Practice. So I'm going to come into Inventor Practice. All right, now mine is going to look a little bit more chaotic than yours because I've been making the tutorial videos. So I have a lot more things in my Inventor Practice folder than you will. All right, but here is my Inventor Practice IDW. So if I hover over it, it's going to go ahead and tell me, the last day that I went ahead and revised it. But you're going to notice all of the icons look a little bit different that are to the left of your files. All right. So if I open up and expand my type file, you're going to notice that the Inventor part files have the part file symbol that you see in Inventor. So if I go to home, notice how my part file has that little symbol. All right, well now my drawings have a different symbol that you're going to see match the symbol in Inventor. All right, so you can use the part files, or you can just get used to the symbols that are next to those files. All right. So instead of using 5 different IDWs, now we're going to use some organization in our browser, and we're going to bundle all of those IDWs into one singular file so that we don't have 5 different files moving forward.